Hey guys, so Benito here, and I'm going to be bringing you my first career mode on this channel on FIFA 18. If you're wondering how I got this, it's EA Access, which you can purchase on the Xbox One. And we'll be doing a career mode with Las Palmas, which are in La Liga. They're a mid-table to relegation side. And why start with Las Palmas, you wonder? Well, I was debating whether to do Arsenal, but I wanted to be original and make it a challenge, because when you have a lot of funds, it's really easy to do well and win all the trophies. But as you'll see later on in this video, we only have around 9 million with a 60% increase, which means signing players will be incredibly hard in this career mode. But I guess that adds to the youth development and more challenging side, and it's not all about winning trophies, I guess, as a smaller team. So here I thought I'd just, name the stadium as they would in real life, because of course La Liga, even though they got the full broadcast package, they didn't get all stadiums in the game yet, which in a way is a bad thing, but we just have to live with it now. So my goals for this career mode is probably to push for the top 6, maybe get a Europa League place, but of course that'll be unrealistic because it's going to be a very hard career mode, considering I'm new to this game, everyone's new, no one's really played this before. I have played a few Ultimate Team games, and unlike last year where I could play on world class difficulty, I'm going to be starting a professional, but if the game gets too easy I will up the difficulty, because no one wants to see a small team beating big teams every single game. Our main objective is to do with financial and youth development, which is, expected for a small side, as we can't be challenging for cups, as there's not much squad depth and the players are not top quality. I mean, there are a few good players like Vitolo, Halilovic and Vieira, who are pretty much going to be my main players for the season. However, Vitolo will return from his loan to Atletico Madrid in January, which will be a struggle, which means we probably will have to bring someone in January. Granted, we have funds by then. But I'm just going to speed up most of this because it's just, admin, sorting out which players I don't want, etc, etc. One thing I will tell you about this career mode is that it's really, really hard to sign players. Unlike FIFA 17 and FIFA 16, etc, signing players is incredibly hard, as the managers tend to walk out of negotiations, because if you don't scout the players and just go right in, you have no idea how much they're worth, and if you fail negotiation you cannot sign them for the rest of the transfer window, which sucks because I lost a lot of targets that I wanted to sign for this club. So here I'm just going to show you how, the first set of negotiation with a player. I was only extending his contract as I thought he'd be a key player and I didn't want him to leave in the season afterwards if we performed underwhelming, etc. So I thought I'd give him a 3-year contract just to try and, extend his stay at the club, as he's going to be a key player and he's in his prime right now, 82 rated at 27, and you'll see that he does help us out a lot throughout this career mode. But yeah, most of these negotiations for us are just selling players or extending contracts, because we cannot be bringing in many players, and maybe we'll get one player, but you can't be expecting 4 or 5 like you would with other clubs. I will tell you now that there was a striker who I do replace the striker Caleri, as you'll see later on in this episode. We play a game against Zenit and I was really not impressed with him, so I decided to let him go, but we'll see that in episode 2 probably, as I've pre-recorded this. If you want me to do live footage and live commentary, just let me know, but I was just pre-recording because obviously it's EA Access and I wanted to just get some clips out so I could edit them in my free time and not have to worry about, running out my 10 hours. But yeah, so we'll have one game at the end of this episode, but most of this is just admin work. And I have another cool idea of this career mode. I have a Twitter account, which I'll probably put on screen now and link in the description, where I'll be updating most league games, cup games, etc, and transfer news, which you feel free to tweet out and leave your thoughts, because you'll probably be in the video later on, as I want to engage everyone in this career mode. And I want to try something unique where it's not just a boring career mode where I talk over the games and we win everything, etc. So here's where I tried to sign Ben Yedder from Sevilla, but obviously I didn't expect that he'd be worth about 30 odd mil, so I go in with all my budget, which is 9 mil, and let's just say there's a pretty funny reaction coming at the end of this. I'll let you guys sit through it. And as you can see, the cutscene just ends, and he basically walks out on us and explains that he's wasted his trip. And obviously, my character looks guilty and kind of upset about this, but it can't be helped. I mean, I tried with all them funds I had, but I didn't have a clue how much it'd be worth. So obviously, we can't get Ben Yedder, which will leave me in other episodes where I do eventually bring someone in. But right now I'm panicking as we've got a game against Zenit, and I've made no signings, which is it's just not been a great start for the Las Palmas. But like I said, this career mode won't be easy. And I think that's what people like with career mode YouTubers. It's always the big teams, like you see United, Arsenal, Chelsea, but you're guaranteed at least one trophy in that game. So here is where I loan out Sergio Araujo, because at this point I didn't know Caleri would be as poor in the game as he was for me. So I loan out a striker here who he's reasonably okay, but he's just not high enough rated, and he's a bit too old to grow. So I thought I'd loan him out for a season, maybe bring in a different striker. Because at this point I thought there were loads of striking options that I could afford, but obviously no. So here I loan him out. It just shows that you can sell people with negotiations, and you can pay you can change the cut that you pay, to reduce salary and stuff, which is pretty unique and pretty cool, to be honest. It cuts. One of my objectives was to cut down wage bill by €20,000, and I guess it's a great start because I cut him down by at least 10, if I believe, by going to a 55 to 45 ratio, which I believe is fair. As obviously he's not playing for us, so why should we pay more for him to stay on his contract? But yeah, it just goes to show these cutscenes are diverse, and there's a lot to do with them. I mean, if there's one thing I wish, it was that press conferences had these cutscenes. I think that'd make it much more interesting, if you know what I mean. And there is no audio of these, but it's expected because you can't be getting voices from players and managers all across the world. Yeah, so Sergio Araujo is now on loan to Lugo, which I believe in the Spanish second division. So I'm now down a striker, and I will be down a second striker. But here we're going to go against our first game in the pre-season. I won't do all of these, but I felt like doing the first one, and then I'll do the last ones to see how far we get. I won't spoil that, but this is an interesting game. It's my first proper offline game, if you don't count squad battles on Ultimate Team, which are very fun, by the way, and if you'd like to see some of them, just let me know in the comments. So here we kick off with Las Palmas against Zenit in Anfield in the European Cup. And honestly, I wasn't really expecting much, because unlike in FIFA 17, this team felt very fast paced and easy to pass with, but for some reason they feel really sluggish. So I don't know if that's tactics or cam review, because I'm not used to this cam review. As you see at half time, I'll change it. But it's going to be a challenge, as I've said many times. But I think whatever cam review is best for you lot, I'll play on, because I adjust it a lot in the first few episodes.
Absolutely no trouble.
But here we have Halilovic doing some lovely dribbling. He gets past two players here. Defending's questionable, but it's a lovely finish into the top left. And at this point I thought, wow, maybe this won't be as hard as I thought, because it's 23 minutes in and we're 1-0 up against Zenit. And honestly, I guess you could say the defending was really poor, but the finish is top class, there's no denying that. Lovely finish into the top left.
Well, we say it so often, but I think that one was truly unstoppable.
So I was pretty comfortable at this point. I was thinking just setting down, leave it like that. And I wasn't too worried about the match, and we get to half time, 1-0 up. There was another chance which I probably won't put in the video, where I believe my right back takes a shot and it hits both posts and rolls out. And so I was cruising at this point in the game. Here you go. You can see I've changed the camera angles before I give it another go. But honestly, I think I'll stick to the first one, because this one, as much as I like normally playing on this, it just doesn't feel right. You'll see later. So here I give away a free kick, and I'm not really expecting much of it. I feel like the defence has this covered, but it's a lovely header from the Zenit player, and it goes straight back into the net to make it 1-1. And honestly, this couldn't have gone. I thought we had this covered, which I'll get later on in the series. But the defence in this team, I do need to work to get some tactics or somewhere, because it's really if it's like Liverpool's defence. We've got a decent attack, but the defence is awful. And I'm not sure what I can do. I'll probably have to bring up some youth players or training, because there are some young players who have good potential in this team, but the defending's just been atrocious. But we're coming down to the last 10 minutes, and I'm not going to lie, I was in a rush at this point, so I wasn't fully concentrating, because I had to go out and I wanted to make this video without having to restart the match, if you know what I mean. But in the 90th minute, the Zenit crossed the ball and it gets laid off, and then it's a lovely turn, to be honest, and then the finish makes it 2-1 to Zenit. And I wasn't too bothered about the result at this point, because it's only pre-season, but I was annoyed that I was 1-0 up, of course, and now we're 2-1 down, and the game basically finishes there, the last kick of the game. So that'll pretty much do it for this episode, but let me know what you want to see, any transfers, because I still do have transfer deadline day, which I'm not going to record until the full game is out, so leave your comments in below, and thank you for watching. Obviously, as you can see, I was in a rush here, so the ending's abrupt, but thank you for watching, and goodbye, and I'll see you in the next episode.